Okay, because I'm not using PowerPoint, I cannot look at my presentation on my screen, but that's fine. I will talk a little bit like this. This is a project that we have started this year called the World Internet Data Explorer. It's a data portal, an internet data portal that has been developed by Afrinic, the Internet Society of South Africa, and Vanilla, which is an ISP based in South Africa. They actually provided us some resources, especially on the front end of the portal. So I'll try the no. No, I think it's not responsive to PDF. On. Yeah. Yeah, no. Is it now? Okay, I'll click on the arrows. The problem statement, basically, we decided to work on a portal because for a while now, many people were asking, is there like a place where we can go and find information, let's say about a network, about how big is the network, what is the market share of the network, how many users, and how many what is the deployment of IPv6 looks in that network. Currently there is no like one single place where you can find this information. Of course, now you can go on portals such as RIPE-Stats, which gives you a number of different internet metrics. But I personally think that RIPE-Stat is getting very complicated, and it's not really a tool for the end user. End user, I mean, it can be anybody in the decision-making process, can be data journalists, it can be government agencies. They just want to have information about the internet in general in a country, for example. So we had this idea, and then of course, Afrinic, we were doing a lot of measurements. So once we do the measurements, we go at different venues, SAFNOG, AFBIF, iWeek, we present them, and then those charts and those graphs usually just stay in slides, and we don't have really a place to put them, and then also to make them live, so that in 2 years' time we can go back to those charts and see how things have evolved in a country. Is latency to this and that destination, has it been, is it increasing or decreasing, and so on. So we came up with that idea of a data portal. And for example, a simple use case would be a CDN trying to deploy their services in a city, for example, in Africa, and they want to know what are the latency to major cities, which Afrinic is doing. So if they have a place where they can easily see this information, I think it can be useful for them. As well, many other information such as peering and interconnection, how good is an ISP functioning in a country, what's the ISP traffic like, if you can actually get this information from IXPs in Africa, and what if we put that in such a portal. So we already have a proof of concept. So if you navigate to that URL, wider.isop.org.za, you will be able to access the portal, and when the landing page, on the landing page, you will you can type on the continent or the country that you want to visualize. So what is it about? It is about having a data repository of different types of internet-related data. It can be performance-related data. It can be security-related data. It can also be data about pricing, can be data about many other metrics that you think is relevant to your business. We want it to be an open data platform where data that we have collected, we also make it available to you guys if you want now to include it in your analysis. And also it is, we want to build a community around this tool, a community where people can come and discuss about topics, which eventually will also influence what are the next types of data visualization that can go on this type of platform. So Wider allows you to have a regional insight. For example, here it's saying the number of internet users in Africa, the number of networks, the number of IPv6 users, and so on. So this data is right now is coming from Epinic Lab. So Epinic has an ad-based measurement system where basically they created ads that are now and when people, for example, view a YouTube video, when they click on that ad is actually in the background making measurements. This is how Epinic is collecting data about IPv6 usage, DNSSEC validation happening, and so on. So just be mindful that the data on this platform is not up to date. The idea really was to have a proof of concept. So we have raw data set, we have a platform. How can we actually craft the platform in such a way that we can visualize internet data? So that was the very first exercise and very first phase of this project. And hopefully we will get good traction so that we can actually push forward and provide users what they would actually want to see in this project. You can have also country levels insights with basically the same information. And also you can compare countries. This can be very interesting if, let's say, there is a specific policy implemented in a country. For example, if some regulators come and say in country X, everybody need to peer at the local exchange. So do we see a difference in terms of quality of service in those two different countries? So as I said, right now the sources is mostly coming from Epinic. We also merge KDA data and World Bank data to have population data. KDA data is actually providing us a categorization of AS numbers. So is an AS an enterprise network or an ISP or a content provider? And when you have a look at the country profile, you have a bunch of different visualization. For example, here you have the internet users. What is the percentage of internet users in Africa? What is the percentage of IPv6 users in that country? I like using Zimbabwe because it is the one which has the highest IPv6 penetration in Africa. And you also have market share data, who is actually the biggest operator in the country. This one is actually based on the data we are getting from Epinic on market share. This platform also allows you to embed graphs and charts. Let's say if you find something interesting, you can easily embed it in your blog post, for example. And it also allows you to do comparison in between different entities, whether it is between regions or between countries. So the product itself is based on an existing tool called Wazimap. So we didn't build it from scratch. So Wazimap is a tool which is itself based on another one called the Census Reporter, which is an American tool that was initially developed to put census data about elections in the US. And some people in South Africa, specifically opened up. They are based in Cape Town. Actually re-engineered the whole platform and call it WASIMAP. And they are also they're also displaying elections data and census data with regards to South African elections and things like that. And we said, well, since what we are looking for is also a regional and geographical insight things, why don't we use this platform and test and see how it goes? So it was the tools behind, the technologies behind simple stuff, Python, Django, PostgreSQL, and for the maps and the charts, it's chart.js and tile.layer.js. We also want eventually to make this, actually it's already open source. It's there, but once that we have a good working package, so we really want people to start contributing to the platform, whether it is new data set or new visualization. So as WASIMAP is already doing, so they build a community around the product, and they also build a community of developers around the product. This is what eventually we want to achieve in the long run. So what type of data you want to appear on the website? It strictly depends on you. So when time comes, we will do a survey of what people will want to see on the website, and as we progress, we will validate whatever we do with the community. And yeah, the idea is actually really to make it your platform. So what next? Understand your interests. That's very important. Identify new and accurate data sources for the world. Yes, so existing data sources can already be visualized for the world, but we want a platform for Africa as well. We want to integrate, for example, bespoke measurements that we do for Africa on that platform, and build a community around it, as I said, and also make the project self-sustainable. If we are able to have sponsorship for this project, we would be very happy about that as well. Feedback. So please have a look at the website, navigate around it, tell us what you like, what you dislike, tell us what would be useful for you, send us feedback at wider.africa.net. And hopefully next year around this time, we will be able to present you some more developments on this portal. Thank you. Questions?
Thank you, microphone. Hi, Michelle. One question. You said you want sponsorship for the project, but you didn't mention what you're looking.
Yes. So our immediate need is to have a full-time developer, at least for a year on that. So I'll need to work out the budget, but maybe first of all, what I wanted to know is if there is any interest, like any organization or any company that is interested in the project, then we can perhaps have chat and talk. But my immediate need is to have a full-time developer on that. Then we can work out on the figures.
Okay, while we're waiting for the line to form, my next question was going to be about the data sources. You said you're getting the market share information from APNIC. Now that's the stuff that Jeff publishes, where he shows the number of IP addresses and he makes a guess at the size of the market and how many people are there. That's been flawed many times over. Yeah. So what are your plans to improve on that data?
So if the community, if you find that this is useful data that you want to see, obviously there might be different sources of information which I don't know of right now. So if there is more accurate information about market share, which usually is difficult to find because it's market related data, which sometimes people don't want to share, but we will be open to other more accurate type of data. But how to improve ourselves, the measurement of EPINIC is perhaps out of scope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still no line. Have you taken this to regulators, and have you approached them to, or is it just being tech committees like this?
Right now, it's just tech committees. It's the second time I'm presenting this. So, do you think it would be interesting for regulators to?
So I'm curious particularly about the market share bits, because I think you'll be able to get that kind of information, and provided it's going to be anonymized later, you should be able to get that information out of regulators. So I was curious as to what my follow-up question was going to be, what the regulators would have told you, whether this was something that they were interested in or not. But seeing as how it's only the second time you've answered the question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone from Second, just once, probably small question. So is this being affected by some of the policies being implemented in some locations like the BDRP and the likes? And if not, and if it will be very soon, what are the plans, and will it be?
So whatever data we are collecting here, does it contain any private data? So, of course, when EPINIC is collecting data, they have also a lot of data where you can actually identify who is sending the information. They have IP addresses, basically. So, but when they are publishing this data, they are actually anonymizing the data. So, from the aspect, there's no issue of privacy per se. What are the cases you're referring to? Is it perhaps anti-competitive type of things? I'm not sure. Maybe we need to run through that. More questions? Nope. Well, thank you then. Oh, Noah, you wanted to say something? Okay, I see your.
Sorry, thanks, Amrish. No, I wanted to know if you are getting any support from the membership. Any support for this project?
No,
Is
no,
it funded,
no, not yet.
internally funded?
Internally funded, yes.
Do you need maybe support from the membership? I don't know.
Yes.
Can you reach out to the membership?
We can do that.
Okay, good. Because it's an important project.
Yeah. So yeah,
useful.
If you think it's important, then we should reach out and see how we can work together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.